Welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Nguyen. I'm a pharmacist and I have 52 real estate. So today I want to share how my quality of life has improved as I went from a negative $250,000 net worth all the way up to a $6 million net worth in present day. And for context, I have videos talking about it, but in 2013, when I graduated as a pharmacist, making $120,000 starting, I had a $250,000 of student debt, so my net worth was negative 250K. Fast forward to today, 2024, it's been about 11 years actually, and now my net worth is $6 million, right? And I want to share how my quality life has improved and shifted throughout this whole time. So when I first graduated, honestly, I just felt amazing making $120,000. I basically was a poor college student. I remember my first pharmacy intern job at Rite Aid paid me about 18 bucks an hour. And then after 1 year of doing that, I got raised up to $21 an hour. And I felt like I was balling, right? I was like, damn, I'm making $21 an hour back in 2013. I was working every Friday, Saturday, and then I would use that money to pay my rent, which was like 500 bucks for a shared 2 bedroom, 1 bath apartment, right, in Stockton. So it's not the greatest area, but I felt like I was balling, right? So for the longest time, I felt poor. So when I started making money, it felt amazing. I was like, oh my god, like I actually was taking home like $5,000 a month. And I was like buying a bunch of things, like a bunch of random things. Like I'd buy a lot of shoes, a lot of clothes on, I bought it on sale. I had a BMW that my parents gave me when I graduated. It was used, but I was fortunate to be gifted a paid off car. So I can afford vacations, I can go eat out, I could go spend money whenever I wanted. I didn't ask my parents for money, right? So it felt very good, it felt very freeing. So honestly, my quality life was like pretty good. Right? I was like, oh, I'm making money. I wasn't. I wouldn't spend all my money every month. So I was taking home 5,000 and maybe 1,500 went to student loans, and then I'd spend maybe $1,000. But just the fact that I can spend $1,000 a month and not feel guilty about it, my quality life improved significantly, right? And then from there, my W2 went to around 160, 170, and at that point, my quality life didn't really change, right? They say once you're past a certain income, I think the back then it was like maybe $80,000. Once you pass $8,000, your quality of life doesn't really improve, right? So for me, despite being $250,000 student debt, my quality of life wasn't that bad. I was like, okay, well, I know I can create a plan, I can pay it off, and that's what I did, right? I would make extra principal payments, whatever money I got extra. If I got a bonus, my tax refund, I'd throw it at my student loans, pay it off, max out 401k. It was good, right? So, I got to buy all the things I wanted to buy, experience things, eat out a lot, go on dates, whatever that looked like. And then once my income went to, uh, so in 2017, I paid off my student loans. I maxed out my 401k for a couple years. My 401k doubled. And then I bought my first piece of property, right? So at that point, my net worth was probably $1 million at that point. And honestly, I didn't even know I want to hit $1 million net worth. I didn't really track it. I was just so focused on like paying off my student debt, saving for a house, doing my job, maxing out my 401k, and I was going to school at the time in addition to working full time, so I didn't really think about it. Right? I was just like, huh, like I hit a million, I didn't even hit it, and honestly, when I hit it, I was like, oh, I feel the same. Right? Like I'm still working. And I own a primary residence now. That I'm house hacking, but I was renting out rooms, so I was like, oh, I feel like a college student still. So I felt exactly the same, right? Like I could, I go on 2 nice vacations a year, overseas typically. If I want to eat something, I'll eat it. If I want to buy something, I'll buy it within reason. If I want to go to a concert or do something, I'll just spend the money, right? So like I even when I hit $1 million, I don't think my quality of life really changed that much from even when I was negative 250K. Like I find joy and fulfillment and value in doing very simple things, right? Like for me, like just going to the gym, I found very valuable at that time when I was into like powerlifting, right? And I would go to the gym like 4 or 5 times a week and spend like 2 hours a day there each time, right? And it was very valuable for me to work out, exercise. I was into playing tennis at the time. That's free for the most part. You just gotta buy rackets and balls. I like watching sports at the time, like Warriors, 49ers. That's free for the most part. You just need some cable. So I found a lot of value and a lot of free stuff just hanging with my friends, family. So there's things that like I did that like didn't really change. And even when I hit my first million, or when I paid off my student loans, I just remember like I paid it off, and I was like, huh, I don't feel any like different. Like it's cool that I paid it off, but for me, I was just more like, huh, what's next? At that point, I was just like, okay, I want to buy a house, right? And then after I bought a house, I was like, huh, what's next? It's like, okay, well, maybe I'll hit $1 million net worth. So I started calculating my net worth, and I was like, oh, actually, I did hit $1 million net worth. And I didn't even realize it, right? And at that point, I was like, okay, what's next? It's like, okay, maybe I'll just keep on buying real estate because I wanted to retire early at the point and do, the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. And I was like, at the time, I was like, oh, I want by 35, I want to make, 20K a month in passive income and replace my W-2 income. So I was like, that will improve my quality of life if I wasn't forced to go to a W-2 job. And then so I started buying single family homes, every year in California. And I was like, huh, these single family homes don't really cash flow. I can't replace my W-2 job if it's just all appreciation, which is on paper, no cash flow. So I was like, okay, let me go buy cash flowing single family homes out of state, which have more cash flow but not as much appreciation. That's why I bought my Huntsville, Alabama property and said, huh, this isn't really scalable. So let me find out how to buy apartments. So I started listening to YouTube about apartments. I joined a mentorship about apartments, and then I bought my first 26 unit apartment complex, bought my 20 unit apartment complex, and bought my mobile park, right? And then now I'm like, okay, didn't really think much about it. And actually, ironically, when I bought, because I bought all those properties at the same time, like within 8 months, I bought 80 units, all value add. My quality of life actually went down, right? Because I was so stressed from managing the renovations, working full time, doing commute, things going wrong. My mobile home park was losing money. I had a bad property manager for my mobile home park. I had like pest, bed bugs in one of my apartments. Renovations taking longer. I'm running large checks, and I was like super stressed like all of last year in 2023. So my quality of life actually went down. I was stressed. I had anxiety. I had depression. I had all of the above, right? Typical rock bottom. And actually, my quality of life went down. So I was like, you know what? I overcomplicated my life. So now I spent the past year simplifying it, right? Now my 26 unit is stabilized and it's more passive. My 20 unit is stabilized, is more passive. I got rid of my mobile home park. I closed down my Amazon dropshipping store, which was losing money. I sold my pharmacy, got rid of the pharmacy that was losing money. I did a bunch of other stupid shit, right? So, and lost money. And now I simplified it, and now my quality of life is actually improving, not because my net worth is now 6 million, but because I just simplified my lifestyle. Like it had nothing to do with wealth. Like I was like, oh, what's the point of owning this real estate, this mobile home park that stresses me out, makes me unhappy, and makes me not myself, and I can't enjoy life. So I sold it, lost $100,000. It was a nice tax write off, but it was super stressful, right? When it probably aged me faster than I would like, and yeah, it was just like actually my call life went down. So it kind of interesting. Like so, if you kind of look at my story, my quality of life improved the most when I just got my first job and made money, could live my life. And after that, my quality of life didn't really improve. And then I hit a point where owned too much real estate that my quality of life went downhill. And once I started to go simplify my life, now my quality of life is going back up where, now I'm more relaxed. I have a W-2. I own 52 units of real estate now that are stabilized, cash flowing, and not doing any crazy shiny object syndrome side hustle ventures that burn me out. Besides YouTube, but YouTube's free, right? YouTube doesn't cost me money. And then I have a mentorship program now, but I love to teach people naturally, organically. So I don't think of it as work, to be honest. Even YouTube, I love sharing what I learned naturally. It's not work to me. Basically gained a lot of clarity. So I would say my quality of life has improved, but not because my net worth is 6 million now, but because I've gained clarity and I simplified my life. Right? That was another big moment there, right? And then now, honestly, you can make my net worth 6 million, you can make my net worth 10 million. I don't think my quality of life is really going to improve. My next milestone where my quality of life will improve is maybe if I don't have to work a W-2 anymore. But you can kind of argue with my current cash flow. On a good month, it's $10,000 to $12,000 a month, and that's enough for me to be financially free. But I do have a mortgage now. I do need to finish paying off my whole life insurance policies and max funding those. So, I still have some expenses over my head, right? I just paid off my Tesla. I just lump sum paid my Tesla. I dipped into my emergency reserve and said, you know what? I just pay off this Tesla at a 6.5% interest rate. Might as well sell it. That alleviated me a little bit, but I was like, okay, cool. It was what, $800 a month. I could afford that, but it was just nice to remove that payment. I have another line of credit that's 2.5% through SoFi. I'm in no rush to pay that off because literally my SoFi bank account makes 5% interest. So why pay off my 2.5% loan, which is also a tax write-off? The interest is a tax write-off because I was used for renovation of my 20-unit apartment complex, right? So like, I don't think my unless I just want to pay that off to just not have bad debt in a way. But literally, my quality life doesn't improve because I know I can't leave my W two in this moment of life because I still need to build up my emergency reserve. I need to um, pay my mortgage now. I got to maximize my whole life insurance. So my foundation is not built yet, right? So my next milestone, it doesn't matter what my net worth is. It can be 10 million, whatever. Unless I start getting rid of some expenses, my quality won't improve, right? So don't keep me wrong. I guess I could sell one of my single family homes, for example, use that money to own my apartments free and clear, or um, own my primary residence free and clear, and then that would reduce my expense significantly if I were to pay off my primary residence. That basically lowered me from $700 a month to just $2,000 a month for just property tax, insurance, HOA, utilities, which is really reasonable and affordable for me. Or I could pay off my apartment complexes, both of them, and increase my cash flow by about $4,600 a month, right? And then use that $4,600 a month to cover my mortgage, and reduce it significantly as well, right? So that's more or less that oriented. And then I could maybe sell another property and finish maximizing my life insurance. At that point, my expense is very negligible. Keep in mind, I don't have kids yet, right? But once I have kids, my mindset will change because that adds more expenses to me. So yeah, that's why I'm still working because I know I'm gonna have kids, so I want to build a bigger foundation, and it just doesn't make sense to leave a W two, especially one that's so well paying and one that I enjoy and one that's helping me develop as a person, right? So it doesn't make sense, and I want to continue building my side businesses as I do it. So that's just kind of the mindset that I have, and that's the progression, right? So literally I could be worth 10, $20 million, but until I get rid of my expenses and I have the option to leave my W2, like, for sure, and I'm very conservative, that's when my next quality life will improve. So hopefully this gave you some insight as well as to how my quality life has improved as I went down my wealth building journey. I'm sure you can take a lot of nuggets from this. I'm very transparent, as you can see. And hopefully let me know if you have questions below. If you're interested in joining my multifamily membership, check out the link down below. And I hope to see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you once again.